Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Last evening I started the tafsir of the verse 183 of Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And we said that the dimensions of Iman stretches from the words La ilaha illallah to the removal of an obstacle from the path of another person. Meaning that the dimensions of Iman are varied, and according to the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the parts of Iman are between 69 and 79 parts. And we said that taqwa means to fulfill the injunctions and commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to stay away from those things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited. And we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the objective of Ramadaan لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ means to gain taqwa, means to be able to implement the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the verse goes on this evening, verse 184, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ, that the days of Ramadan are limited. You don't fast for 2 months or 90 days or 35 days. It is either 29 days or 30 days. أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and if you are sick or on a journey and you cannot fast, then you should fast in the days that you missed while you were sick or the days that you were traveling. Any travel. Any travel. In travel, you're allowed to choose. You can either fast or you can break your fast. But if you break your fast, then you have to pay in the days that you missed. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. This is very important verses. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. This verse tells us that just like the prohibition of wine, which became prohibited in stages, with tadarruj, as they say in Arabic, similarly, fasting also became fasting in stages. Last night we heard what was the first stage. The first stage of fasting was in Makkah, when the Quraysh in the time of Jahiliyyah fasted the day of Ashura, and the Prophet also, when he was in Makkah, fasted the day of Ashura. And we said when he came to Medina, he fasted the day of Ashura and he commanded the Sahaba to fast the days of Ashura, meaning the 10th day of Muharram. And when the verse was revealed, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. When this verse was revealed, ومن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم, then only fasting became a complete fast. But this verse, وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين, came in between. What does this verse mean? So the second stage was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ, and those who find it difficult to fast. Those who find it difficult to fast, what must they do? فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. They must pay, they must feed a poor person one meal for every day that they miss the fast. We have put it into rand amounts, and some of us say it's 10 rand, some say it's 15 rand, but actually is, if you feed one person per day, then that is sufficient and will suffice for the day you didn't fast. Any person, Muslim, non-Muslim, black, white, you can give any person a plate of food for that day, and that will be your feeding. When this verse was revealed, the Sahaba chose to fast or not to fast. If they just felt like not fasting, they would pay the fidya and not fast. Because fasting wasn't yet fully prescribed. So they had a choice. You want to fast, you fast. If you don't want to fast, give a fidya. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. But this verse abrogated by the other verse which said, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ شَهْرَهُ فَلْيَصُمْ. If you find yourself present in the month of Ramadan, you have to fast. And the first verse became an exception. Only the old and those people who has an illness that cannot be cured, only they can break their fast and give a fidyah. And Abdullah ibn Abbas added a third category to the old woman and the old man and the sick la yurja shafa'u. The person who suffers from an illness, that there is cancer or whatever it is that the person suffers from, that Allah protect us, inshallah, from these illnesses. And the third category was the woman who is pregnant and the woman who is breastfeeding a baby. So a woman who is pregnant or a woman who is breastfeeding a child has an option depending on the state of health. She can fast or she can break a fast. If she doesn't fast, she doesn't have to pay in the fast. She gives a fidyah on behalf of every day. But she must, because pregnancy, my dear brothers and sisters, not brothers, my dear sisters, it's not an illness, it's a natural thing for a woman to be pregnant. But some women have difficult pregnancies. They become weak, develop high blood pressure, so forth and so on. They cannot fast. If they feel they can't fast, it will affect the baby or affect the mother. Then they can break their fast and they can pay a fidyah. Of course, there are differences of opinion. Some people say they have to pay, but it's very difficult for a woman to pay in a whole month of fasting. I mean, we find it difficult to pay 2 or 3 days, and we must imagine a woman has to pay a whole month if she is pregnant right through the month of Ramadan. So this verse then tells us that just like riba and khamr, all the ahkam of the Quran was revealed in stages. First stage was Ashura for fasting.